because I think we're both in. Nope, it allowed me to do it. So
I have no responsibilities here. I
All
like
right,
it.
I'll be right back.
So Vicky, what we typically do is when Deb gets back, we'll kick off. We'll do some around the horn and see how everybody's holidays were, and then do a brief introduction, and then hand it over to you to do your thing. And you're a juggling unicyclist, right? That's
Yeah,
what
that's what it feels like most days. That would be a good description. I'm going to let my team know you said that. Uh,
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry.
Deb, hi. Hey.
Can
who
you guys
was
hear me?
who wanted me to correct them? I'm always willing to correct somebody. Who? What's up, Roy?
Hey, just let Vicky know. Sometimes it looks like a small turnout, but we had a lot of people viewing this after the recording, so
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
seen it's seen by quite a few more people.
we have about 30 members, but we end up with on the order of 10 or 20 that seem to view these things later on. So it
Okay.
works.
Yep, that works too. Yeah, we do some of that stuff too. It happens with our instructors. We have over 100 instructors, but we'll have about 20, 25 that attend our meeting and then the rest watch it later.
Yeah, every now and then I also do an outreach to about 200 other motorcycling Rotarians. I'm getting an echo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I hear
weird.
that.
Anyway, but I do that, and so we got a number of guests tonight too, so that's interesting. That's cool.
I think Indian John did that to you. Look at his background. So now I've got that echo too.
Oh, I muted John and it may have fixed it.
Okay.
Sorry, John. I think it actually is you.
It's that background that's echoing.
Is that what it is?
We'll turn him on if he wants to talk. We should actually, as courtesy, mute when we can. So, what do we got for time?
We are right at 7.
We could start doing some introductions. It'd be cool. Deb's talking, but we don't have to listen to her because she's muted too. There you go, Madam President.
You know what's funny is, according to my computer, I'm muted, but then I don't know, I've given up. Once again, I've given up today. It's been mayhem, so it'll be okay. But Vicky, my husband's been walking in and out of my office going, "Oh, do you got it up? You got it up?" So you may see him kind of pop in behind me at some point. He was very excited to hear you were coming and
Uh,
speaking
and
tonight.
I told my husband, I said, if you come blasting in my office,
Yeah, yeah.
make sure you're kind of like dialing it down just a little bit, honey.
But you mean like that? Like that guy?
Yeah, something like
Why, yes,
that.
exactly. We'll give it another minute or two. It looks like we've got a really nice looking turnout tonight. So we're very
Vicky, you don't
excited.
sound like you're a native Houstonian.
Oh, are most of you?
No.
Nope.
No,
Oh,
we're
no,
all over
no.
the place. We'll go through that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun part. Everyone on this call, I'm in Houston, but I'm pretty much by myself down here, and we are all over the country. So this is good, I think, on a lot of levels, and we'll talk a little bit about our group. And okay. Well,
Well,
this
Deb has been threatening actually to have me come on here and do this for probably a year
a
now.
while, a
Yeah, it's
while.
been
So
been a
I'm
while.
super excited and yeah. And I keep threatening actually to come up and visit you, which next year you will probably see me. So I'm very excited about that.
It'll just be about time.
It is about time. You are absolutely correct. All
Well,
right.
actually,
Amanda, do
Debbie,
you have the Venmo thing up by chance?
I can
Can we
find
get to
it.
that part?
I can find it real quick.
Thanks.
All right. Well, Amanda finds that. I will take a moment and introduce myself. I am Deb Teplitz, and this is the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians. It is our first meeting of this year. Oh my goodness, it's 2026, people. How did we get here? And I'm really excited to see so many faces. I see new people. I see people that I know. So I thank you all for coming out this evening. Why don't we take a moment, and I'm looking for our happy bucks. I want to hear good stuff, guys. Anybody have anything they want to share?
Well, I don't know if it's a happy buck or a sad buck, but as of the first, I became the new president of the Casa Colibri nonprofit board that does the autumn stuff I do down in Guatemala. So
Oh, congratulations. That's
stepping it up a
wonderful.
level here. So like I said, I'm not sure if it's a happy or sad, but now I've got to be more responsible. And many of you have supported my work down there, so that's great.
If it makes you feel better, Jerry, I hold you responsible for a lot of things.
And you know what? Speaking of responsibility, I'll add another one then because I'm going to leave. I think it's the 30th to go join Indian John's friend Nancy Barber in India on a polio NID mission. But I'll be gone the first 2 weeks of February on that. So,
Take the credit card.
not buying any of that stuff.
When you're in Agra, you're going to visit a place that does inlaid stones in the same
Been
manner
there.
that they did the Taj Mahal.
Was
Oh,
there a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
well, excellent. This is great news. My happy buck will be about the fact that for the first time in a year and a half, I actually got on my bike and rode, and it felt, there are a lot of things it felt. Uh, I've changed a lot in a year and a half, and so I'm excited to be back to it, and I'm looking forward to getting out and riding more. And this is that time of year where it's actually okay, better for me because it's not 1 billion degrees down here. So I'm very excited about that. And we got some plans. I got some plans. I had to give myself some goals, so I'm very, very excited about that. Um, but it's been a journey. I am almost to remission. I'll know more probably in the coming weeks, but this for me, this personally is really great news, and I'm really excited to be starting off the year this way. I got myself to a point where I was like, all right, I got to do this. And the one thing I will say is, wow, my bike is really heavy. So I'm uh I'm looking at other bikes. So
Oh,
there's a
are we gonna get you on an Indian?
you know what? I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided. I've been kind of looking around at a couple different things, and my job over the next couple weeks is actually to go to a bunch of dealerships and put my butt on a bunch of bikes and see what I like and what catches my fancy. So we'll see what happens. But that's my exciting news.
Time for a trike.
That, that may be. That may be. You never know. I haven't ruled it out. So, and I'm a big believer in, trikes are not bad. There is nothing wrong with riding a trike. So, anybody else have anything that they would like to share today? Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
after Christmas, I rode from Sacramento to Phoenix. Took me 2 days to get
Cool.
there, spent 2 days there, then I rode back. I found a window where there was no rain. I did get
Congratulations.
rain on my way back, but anyway, I made it home.
Well, that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Anyone else? Anything?
I have a happy bug. Last year, I managed to visit both the top and the bottom of Route 1 on my bike. Two trips, one to Canada and one to Key West. So that was happy riding.
Well,
Excellent.
I got to ride the last 2 days a little bit because it is warm here in Houston.
Yes, Vicki and I know each other, and I'm glad she came this evening. And yeah, I saw you posted some pictures earlier, so I'm a
Yeah.
little jealous. I haven't, this whole work thing, they actually expect me to work.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's a four-letter word.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, if there is nothing else that we want to
Just
touch on. Oh,
Just
yes,
real
Jerry.
quick, Amanda shared in chat, those that want to pay their happy bucks, the connection I mean, if you go on Venmo, you can see that that's the place you connect to.
Sorry, I couldn't find the QR code. I'll find it, and while you're chatting, I will be multitasking and try to find it. And so for everybody, for our guests, because we do have quite a few guests, the Happy Bucks. When we share a Happy Buck, we donate a buck or whatever you feel fit to the club, and that goes into our funds to do cool stuff like sponsor Jerry's trips to Guatemala and some other things that we've done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, was there anything else? Looking around, anybody? Okay. So I am super excited because our guest this evening, our guest speaker, um, I have known for a number of years, and I run into her in the craziest of places, completely unexpectedly. But Vicki Sanfelipo, this woman is a legend. She is in the Sturgis Hall of Fame. She's got an amazing venture that she's going to talk to us about tonight. And she's got some really, really cool stuff. And so I'm not going to say anything more. I am going to hand this over to Vicki. And please tell us about you.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. And Deb is absolutely right. That's very strange how, just I'm in Wisconsin and there she is down in Houston, and we just happen to run into each other out in hill country. It's, we looked at each other and we were like, is that you? I had no idea why we were running into each other there. So anyway, it's been wonderful to have those friends that we all make all over the country. I asked Jerry, I said, would it be better if I did a presentation or just a talk? And he said, well, a presentation would be really great. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to let the PowerPoint put you to sleep. No, no, no. I'm going to let the PowerPoint help guide me through our chat here. And I will get this bigger. There we go. I got to start at the beginning. Um, I'm the executive director of Accident Scene Management. It's a nonprofit organization, and I started it back in 1996. Started putting it together and started teaching classes for my friends in 1997. So my initial thought was, hey, I'm a nurse. I ride a motorcycle. My friends all think I'm going to know what to do for them if somebody goes down. And I was always kind of like, oh, shoot, they actually think I learned motorcycle trauma in nursing school. And I can tell you it's not in the curriculum. But I wanted to be there for my friends. So I ran into a pig farmer from Iowa. His name is Slider Gilmore, and he got his nickname from sliding down the highway. He was a EMT, and he was talking about motorcycle trauma. And I thought, you know what? That is something that we motorcyclists should be teaching each other. We should know how to help a friend if they go down. That first 5 to 20 minutes is critical in outcomes. So I contacted Slider after his presentation. I said, you know what? I'd like to get 30 of my friends trained. What can I use what you were talking about? And he paused for a moment and said something I'll never forget. He said to me, he said, he said, there's a lot of motorcyclists in the United States, and the more people we get trained, the better off we are all going to be. And to this day, that is in my heart. Like, we should all know how to help each other. And there's actually 18 million motorcyclists in the United States. So we continue to try to help each other. Now, the program itself, it's an 8-hour long class. It's based on the US DOT first responder curriculum. So it's a higher level class than if you are taking like a first aid or a CPR class. I hear that a lot from people. They're like, yeah, but I have CPR and first aid training. So I feel like I'm prepared. I feel like I'm kind of prepared. And then you start asking them more questions and they're like, well, I guess there's more that I could know about this. But our goals and objectives is to reduce injuries and fatalities to motorcyclists by having people do the right things initially. We also are going to reduce rescuer injury by teaching people how to secure the scene, how to make good decisions immediately after something happens. We increase the effectiveness of the emergency medical system by getting started with the things they would do when they first get there. We can start those things before they arrive. And that makes a big difference. A person can bleed out in 5 minutes. So we can't wait for them to come to deal with that situation. The reason we're different than a traditional first aid class is because we have a distinct focus on trauma. So first aid tends to be more, they fell, they wrenched their ankle, they got a bee sting, it's that type of thing, where we're talking more about the higher speed, bigger trauma things. It's more of a combat medic issue than it is general first aid. So we address difficult subjects that aren't covered in other things, such as jaw thrust rescue breathing, where you push a jaw forward to open a person's airway, which keeps their neck nice and still and straight. So when you're taught CPR, you're taught a head tilt chin lift. And that's not what you want to do to someone who just crashed their motorcycle. So we teach that way of rescue breathing. We teach full face helmet removal, and we teach how to move the injured person. So our agenda and how we teach this is we start with, it just happened. What do you do first? And, I wanted to make this be something that would be useful information for you. So I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that we teach. I'm not just going to tell you what we teach, but I'll actually teach you some of the stuff. So first I want to just introduce you to things, but I'll get into a little more detail. The first thing you need to focus on is preventing further injury. Making people want to run right to the person who just got injured, but you actually have to take a minute, and you have to make sure that you have a safe scene before you go there. We then work on assessing the situation, gathering information, trying to determine, can I stay right here? Am I going to have to leave to go get for help? Is it safe? What do I need to deal with? If I do send somebody to go call for help because my cell phone's not working, do they know what to say? So that quick assessment does matter. And you're looking at probably 60 seconds for your quick assessment. The reason we put contact the EMS after assessing the situation is not that we want you to delay a phone call. We put it there because of our motorcycling. The places we like to ride are the ones that say no service. So Roland's been up by Canada on Highway 1. So he knows what I'm talking about, So, we want to make sure you are thinking about these things before you simply leave to go call for help. So if you have a cell phone, it's working, you can dial 911, you can do all of these things at the same time. So no delay in phone call, but make sure that things are safe first. Then we look at treating the injured person with life-sustaining care. And that's what people are like, they think they're coming to a first aid class and they're going to get just into the treatment part of things. But if things get worse, while you're waiting for them to arrive, then they've just got a bigger problem. So this is just a little bit more information about us. I mentioned this stuff already, but we are an international organization. We have instructors in 5 countries and 32 of the United States. It looks like I have a little bit of repeat. Maybe I can work on this a little bit more. So why bystander assistance? It's because of that early intervention just not being enough. We're missing that bystander assistance. We're only going to have so of an outcome if we don't address that. And I'm back here again, and I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know why? Because I'm going backwards? What? So when we get to prevent further injury, this is a picture that was sent to us by some of our students in Georgia after they had taken the class. And they said, yeah, we had this really bad situation that happened. Somebody crashed their bike coming around a curve, and there was gravel in the curve, and the motorcycle started to smoke, and we didn't think it was safe for our friend. So we actually dragged him to the other side of the road, and the flames started. And when the flames hit the compressed air in the tire blew off of the bike. And we were so glad that we had the confidence to move our friend, because what are you told in your first aid classes? You're told you never move anybody, right? But as a motorcyclist, that should make you kind of go, really? never move anybody, we don't always land where we can be left, right? So it also is movement when you put somebody in a sideline position. That's called the recovery position in many textbooks. We call it the puke and drool position. So it helps to remind you why it is that you are putting someone in this position. If you're leaving to go call for help, if you have to go check on another person, you would never leave somebody on their back. They could choke on their saliva or vomit. Their tongue could fall to the back of their throat and block their airway if they became unconscious. The better position for them to be in is a sideline position. So this allows the tongue to fall forward. So we teach people how to get people into that position, puke and drool, remember that. So the assessment piece of things, we help you collect some of those tools. Now, remember, this is an 8-hour class that I'm condensing into 20 minutes for you. So, but anyway, the way that crash occurs gives you clues about the severity of injuries, the types of injuries that might be happening, and you start looking for something that EMS calls mechanisms of injury, and that helps you have clues about things that you like where you're matching up an injury. You see a laceration and you're thinking, where did that laceration come from? And you look at the bike and you see that there's some peeled up metal. Well, it, likely came from that as the person was exiting the motorcycle because you see some blood on that metal. So those are those little investigation things you can do to help the EMS determine how deep is that. They care about mechanisms. With your 911 phone call, we teach a little bit more about how to gather that information, and they're going to ask you questions. So be prepared to answer these questions. They want to know what happened, and they don't want a big long dissertation. They want just kind of a quick synopsis of what just happened. They're going to ask you a lot of questions. So it's important that you also stop talking so they can ask you. And they're going to go through a list of questions about how many people might be injured, how many vehicles. Sometimes you don't know initially all the answers to these questions, especially the injured people. Guess high is always our advice. If you're not sure if it's 2 or 3, say 3 because it affects what they send to you as far as help goes. They're going to send 3 ambulances if you tell them 3 people. But if you tell them 2 and they get there and there's a third person, now they have to call for another ambulance. So it's okay to guess high. They're not going to charge you. They're not going to ask for your credit card or anything, so don't worry about it. They want to know possible injuries, and that helps them determine whether or not they should be calling for flight for life. If you tell them, I think the person has a head injury, they may put flight up in the air. They want to know if you say it looks like they have a broken leg, you don't have to be right about it. It doesn't matter. They're just going to get their splints out and be prepared to be able to help that person faster. The location is really the biggest thing, and they're going to get to that right away. Where are you? If you don't know where you are, they can't get somebody to you. They can collect a lot more information once they get somebody dispatched. So don't be surprised if initially, as soon as they have real basic information, they're kind of quiet for a little bit while they're dispatching somebody, and then they come back on and get more details from you. The life-threatening injuries that you need to focus on are going to be things like we call it the CABCs of trauma. And we just added the additional C. Deb, you might be kind of going, oh, I don't remember the C at the beginning because it's been ABCs of trauma forever. But we added a C to the beginning because catastrophic bleeding, that one, you have minutes to control that, where you have 5 minutes for airway. So we want you to do, when you're doing that quick head to toe assessment, which I took, there's a lot more to this, but when you're doing a quick head to toe assessment, you're looking for catastrophic bleeding. Don't get distracted by bleeding that is not catastrophic. So what do I mean by that? I mean, with catastrophic bleeding, it is spurting or pulsating. It's brighter red in color. Really, I tell people the places to look to really concentrate your efforts is the arms and the legs. because you can't do a lot about other places on the person's body, but from the arms or the legs, you can do direct pressure, you can do elevation, you can pack a wound, you can put a tourniquet on. There's a lot you can do for arms and legs. So, the slow trickle, the road rash, that can wait. It's going to be painful. The person's going to be yelling and making noise. But that's actually a good thing. If they're yelling and making noise, they have an airway. So don't get too distracted. So we show people how to pack wounds. We practice a bunch of skills with tourniquets and putting pressure dressings on, that kind of thing. So our airway, this is a great picture that shows how the tongue, when it relaxes with a person who is unconscious, how the tongue will fall to the back of the throat when they're laying on their back, and it can block that person's airway. So that becomes the majority of the issue. Does anybody here know anybody who snores? Just shake your head yes if you do. Yeah, shake your head. Yeah, there we go. What do you do for somebody who is snoring? You poke them, right? You like try to wake them up, or you roll them over on their side, oh, he fell on his back again, so I'm going to roll him over on his side into a puke and drool position where the tongue is falling forward. So on the back, the tongue falls to the back of the throat, but if you can get them rolled on their side, then the tongue will fall forward. So this becomes that issue. Now we've been taught in CPR that what you do is that head tilt chin lift to get the tongue off the back of the throat. And that's easy. And it does give you a nice big open airway. But for a motorcyclist who just crashed, of course, we should be very concerned about those neck bones that you see here. And if that person has a neck injury, that could have cut off their ability to breathe. Head injury can knock them out. And if you have a head injury, you should be considering neck injury. So we want to minimize movement of the neck at this point. And to do that, you're going to do something called jaw thrust. And the jaw thrust uses, like if you get to the angle of your jaw, you can feel this right now, where you have this angle right here. And if you go in back of that angle, like right about where your ear attaches, you can push forward and that will push the jaw forward. The tongue is attached to the jaw and it'll open the airway. So that keeps the neck nice and still. Once you do that, then if the person doesn't breathe on their own, because maybe they will, once you lift that tongue, hopefully they'll start to breathe on their own. Now, if they don't, then you've got a bigger problem going on and you're going to need to give some breaths. So that's where having a rescue breathing barrier is a really great tool rather than going mouth to mouth. So I would do whatever I had to do on a loved one. But downtown Milwaukee, probably want to have a barrier. I wouldn't care what it was. It's something between me and them. So anyway, being prepared with proper supplies is also very important. So rescue breathing, making a good seal is the biggest thing. You want to give 2 breaths initially, then 1 every 6 seconds. Each breath should last about 1 second when you're giving it. If you haven't taken CPR for a long time, you remember when they used to tell us that it was like blowing up a balloon. And when you would give a breath, you would do it slowly over 2 seconds and see this rise in the chest. We're still looking at the rise and fall in the chest as knowing that it went into the lungs. But we're not going to go so slow and we're not going to give a full breath. Just enough to see that there's movement of the chest and then you can be done. Excess air goes into a person's stomach. It increases the chance that they're going to throw up. And I don't know. I don't do chunks. I don't know about you guys. So no chunks. So full face helmet becomes a issue because it's a barrier to being able to give rescue breaths. So if you find yourself in that position where the helmet is interfering with your ability to control the airway, then it must come off. Now, according to the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, they are the ones who teach helmet removal in EMS training. They say it takes 2 rescuers for safe helmet removal. I call those two people the puller and the catcher. So we've got one person at the head, that is the person who's removing the helmet, while the person at the side is preparing to catch the person's head as it comes out of the helmet. There's going to be space between the person's head and the ground, where if you don't have somebody who's catching that head, the head's going to fall to the ground. You have to move that bottom hand along to catch the head. If you keep it at the neck, then you're going to have the entire weight of the head behind there. And you're still going to get quite a bobble. So the catching of the nose is the biggest issue. I've got something queued up here in a minute so I can show this to you. But there's that space that was left once we took the helmet off. And we're just showing you how much space you may have to fill so that you're not getting this kind of movement with the neck. So less movement of the neck is always better. You guys will have to tell me if you can hear any of the sound on this. Can you hear it?
Step 1. Rescuer 1 provides inline immobilization by placing hands on each side of the helmet with hands on the side of the helmet. The head needs to be placed in the neutral position. Step 2. A second rescuer cuts or loosens the strap or fastening device. Any removal aids are activated. Step 3. The second rescuer places one hand on the chin and with the other hand applies pressure from the base of the head. This maneuver transfers inline immobilization responsibility to the second rescuer. Step 4. The rescuer at the top removes the helmet, keeping in mind that the helmet is egg-shaped and must be expanded widthwise to clear the ears. Also watch for catching the nose. The second rescuer maintains inline immobilization from below to prevent unnecessary neck motion. Be ready to the weight of the head. The head will be heavy. Step 5. After the helmet has been removed, rescuer 1 places their hands on either side of the rider's head, whilst avoiding covering the ears, so you can communicate with the patient. Step 6. Inline immobilization is maintained from above, and the space between the head and surface is filled. Immobilization is maintained until advanced immobilization is available. If ventilation is required, use jaw thrust rescue breathing.
They talk a little bit funny, but anyway, that's those are friends from Australia that did that. But that kind of gives you an idea. There are a couple little things that they kind of missed there, but it was, that gives you a basic idea of what the people's jobs are. I would say that one of the big things is really clearing the nose. That's where people can get hung up. And if you get hung up in the nose, you only have one choice, and that's to push the helmet back on. And that is not a good choice because it puts pressure on the person's spine as you push the helmet back on. And the extension that you get from removing the helmet is not so bad for the cervical spine, but the pressure of doing this would be worse. So try not to catch on the nose. So don't do it. After you handle the airway and breathing, you can come back to bleeding and see if there's anything else you can do for that person. We go into a bit of general bleeding management where you're putting a pressure dressing on a person and just considering a little bit more of what is happening with bleeding. And if there are any other circulation issues that are going on. And then we get into our shock, which there are 3 different kinds of shock in motorcycle trauma and any trauma actually, and that would be a neurogenic or injury to the brain, hypovolemic, which is loss of blood, and then psychogenic. And psychogenic is really powerful. Like there's a lot we can do for that by keeping ourselves calm. We make things worse when things get out of control and people are screaming and hollering and the person feels like nobody's listening to them and they're trying to tell you something. I mean, if you can keep things calm, that makes a really big difference. You can do something about hypovolemic. You can do very little, if anything, about neurogenic. Get that person's information early. So, gives you a few tips about what to do, but don't let anybody have anything to eat or drink. Try to get them to stay still, lay flat. And then spinal stabilization is our final item here. And that they have gone away from spinal immobilization. You might remember that up until, I think it was probably 5 to 10 years ago, they went to spinal stabilization. But before that, they did immobilization. And you would do everything you could to keep the person as immobile as possible. And what they're finding is that the injury happened at the time of the impact. And there's very little evidence to show that minor manipulations after that fact would cause further injury. Now, it's our job to minimize movement. So less movement is always better. But it means that might not be surprised don't be too surprised if when the EMS gets there, they ask the person who's in the ditch, can you get up and walk out of the ditch? I could help you. You might go, what? What are you doing? And it's because they are really kind of getting away from that. They found it was creating more injuries by immobilizing people. They don't transport people on longboards anymore. They use them to get to extricate, but not to transport or to keep them on that, unless there's some extenuating circumstances. Minimize movement, that's your job. So let's see, I'm not sure what just happened here, but so anyway, those are your CABCs of trauma. If you're alone, you address in that order. Let's say that you go past catastrophic bleeding, you've gotten down to shock, and then you realize that there is a pool of blood underneath somebody. And you're like, well, do I keep going with this, or do I need to go back to the catastrophic bleeding because that was number one? Well, yes, these are your priorities of treatment. Anywhere along this, if something worse, is going on, if a person stops breathing in the middle of your care, you're going to have to stop your spinal stabilization. You're going to have to give that up to address the airway. So this is very helpful for you to know how you should be acting or reacting. We have a 100 series class, which is what I was just talking to you about. You earn the round patch that you see here. The advanced class goes into more roadside medical concerns. We do oral airway insertion. We do assisting the EMS with extrication, pressure points for bleeding. We do a lot of role play and practicing things in that class. So it's another 8 hours long. So if you have an opportunity to take basic and advanced together, that is truly the best way to do this. I have good news for you. We have a class in Houston that is in a sponsored class. It is a $350 class for taking basic and advanced, and it's only $75. We have 2 sponsors for it. So if you haven't, it's at Wolfsmith's, if you know where that is. I heard
Oh,
it's
yeah, in the
yeah.
city. In the city, yeah.
Yeah. So it's so it's going to be a fantastic class for really inexpensive. That includes your lunch. So it includes all the course materials, lunch, and the class for only $75. So those of you who are not there, check our website. I'm going to be there in just a second. I just want to finish what I was going to say here. We are accredited by the Committee on Accreditation for Pre-Hospital Continuing Education. Huge feather in our caps. But EMTs get credits for taking our classes, but it's really geared toward the general motorcyclist. So you get to take that level class. The certificate of completion you get will have the educational credits on it. You also earn that patch. Nobody can buy that without taking our class. They have to complete the training. So I have a QR code here if somebody wanted to shoot that just to kind of get the website and get that up. Reminding you that we are a 501c3. We were one of the first 501c3s that were motorcycle related in the country. So been that for a long time now. And I have one more slide I wanted to show you, and I'm going to take the opportunity to tell you about an exciting project that we're working on right now. Deb has probably seen this on my Facebook page. It's called Project Guardians. I won a beautiful motor, a S&S engine worth 12,500 beautiful diamond cut polished motor and 124 cubic inch, it's just gorgeous. And I guess I have a few bikes already, so I was kind of like, what am I going to do with this? And I could have built another bike, but I wanted to give it back to the museum, the Sturgis Museum, but I don't do anything that doesn't benefit Road Guardians. It's my baby, it's what I do. So we are doing this together, the museum and I are we're building a bike, and we have all kinds of sponsors for it already. Wolfpack Law out of Texas is our main title sponsor. They're paying for the build. We have Paco giving us a frame, Baker's giving us transmission, BDL the primary. I mean, we've just got all these people throwing their hat in the ring. The person who's building it is Chicky from Vagabond Choppers. The guy who is painting it won Best of Paint at the SEMA show in Las Vegas in October. So he's amazing. I think it's going to have an amazing paint job. It's a real nod to our past and our future. It's going to be an old school bike that when somebody rides it into a place, they go, oh, that's old school. And then they look at it and it's got all kinds of new school stuff on it and features. So anyway, the tickets, it's going to be raffled and the tickets will be available starting February 1st. So if you want to shoot that QR code, you could kind of bookmark that page, and you could you will find our YouTube, which I'm going to be live on YouTube in soon. Yeah. Okay, soon. And at 8 o'clock tonight. That's right. 8 o'clock Central Time. And there's so we do weekly lives and that kind of stuff. So you could follow the progress of the bike as it gets built and then makes its slow trek across country to the Sturgis Rally. So okay, so I will stop talking. I know that was longer than I was supposed to be, but do you have any questions?
Well, I'll take a second and tell everyone that I have taken both levels of the classes. I'm probably actually due to be updated and take them again soon. I know who's doing my local class soon, but if you are interested in getting an instructor to do a class in your area, all you need to do is reach out to Vicki. That's actually how Vicki and I reconnected at one point, is because I was seeing all these crazy accidents happening here in Houston and we wanted to get out in front of it. And so I'm super happy that, we've been getting traction. We've been getting people to take the class, to learn what to do in these situations. And I won't tell my horrible stories of what happened to us this year that I hope will encourage some of my women riders here to take the class again, because these accidents are scary. That's all I'll go with. But I can't say enough about the Road Guardians organization and what they are out there trying to do and trying to make us safer. And as I said, please reach out to Vicki if you have any questions.
It's free to sign up for our e-news. Rory.
Just want to say that it was back around 2018, 2019 when we started this online club. I had heard about your organization. I don't think we were able to hook up for a meeting, but I did find you have the emergency kits.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I bought one, and then I believe I got in touch with somebody today that sent me back the contact site to get the replacements for the expired stuff.
Yeah, and I build trauma kits specific for motorcyclists, and I'm just going to pull you on here real quick again just to show it to you. But this is, it's called CPR first aid because I do that too. You know, why not? Hey, I've got mannequins, so I might as well teach that. But I have trauma packs that I build. You'll notice that the bags have improved tremendously. I actually worked with a luggage company to make the perfect bag. Everything in these bags are visual. You will not have time to drag everything out and throw it on the ground. You know, that's not the best way for you to visualize. Everything is protected and it has roll bags of dressings and so like this Rebel kit, that's, our top of the line kit, but you'll see that it has a roll bag with the dressings. So everything is protected as you are looking at this.
It
And
looks like mine was a blue fanny pack.
yeah, we went away from blue. Everything is now red and has its place, and so, as you're looking in here, you see everything that is available to you. And you start with the front pocket where you flip the front pocket down and it has the things you need first, so yeah, there, yeah. So anyway, just, if you're looking for something that is more compact and motorcycle related, it has the dimensions for it. It is kind of squatty, and the reason for that squattiness of the trauma pack is that it fits in your saddlebag if you turn it sideways. So that would be the reason for that. So they're not in the right order here. I just read up on how I can reorder my products. So I haven't done it yet. But comes all the way from, $30 to $165 for the one that has the tourniquet and the strobe and everything you need in there for traffic control. So you can get just the bags if you're interested in just that as well. And then all the contents, when she was telling you that you can go here to, find the medications and that kind of stuff, that's what you do is just go here to get the individual supplies that you want to replace. So CPR-firstaid.com. So
Getting
thanks for bringing it up.
so many good ideas for potential service projects as you're talking. This is great. Be kind of fun. It's a weird way to put it, but it'd be kind of fun to put together the trauma bags as, like we do with the kits for homeless and misplaced people, displaced people. We could do the same with these trauma bags. It'd be an interesting way to get everybody together and hands-on at one of our events. And of course, maybe sponsoring a class or two when we all get together. I could see this being a, district conference or Rotary International Conference if it's stateside again.
Well, we have talked about maybe doing a ride into Milwaukee, and I happen to know somebody in Milwaukee that would possibly be interested in this. I don't know. I can't say enough good things and the learning. Also you learn a lot in the class. You also learn like which of your riding buddies is not good in an emergency situation. I
Well,
learned
you know what, Deb? There is a job for everybody. If you can't get
exactly.
air in that mannequin, then you're traffic control.
That's
That's
it.
it.
I was gonna say
Exactly.
you go hold the
Exactly.
flare. Go hold the flare.
Exactly. And we've learned that. It's okay. It's okay because somebody needs, sometimes we definitely need people not in the middle of that fray. But I can't encourage everyone enough that if you are interested in taking this class, definitely reach out. I can tell you about all sorts of cool, Vicki does a little bit of everything. Um, I think my favorite is when she rides with oh my God.
Cannonball. Must be
Well,
the cannonball.
the cannonball, which is if you've never seen the motorcycle cannonball, you need to go see it. That was such a fun experience. I got to experience it when it came through Texas, and it was very cool. And these guys are more than happy to talk about their bikes, and they have some really, really cool
They have to
old
be 90
bikes.
years old and older. The bikes have to be 90 years old and older, and they ride them cross country from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yes.
So, and the competition, it's not a race, it's a competition to see if the man and the motorcycle can make it all the way. They
Yeah,
get
it
a
is.
point. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I can tell, I don't even think Vicky's ever heard this story from us. When we left, everybody was gathering in the square and we were riding home that evening. And we came up to a light and one of the cannonball riders basically shot up between me and my friend who was with me. And it was hilarious because her and I are just talking away. Next thing we know, a guy is in between us and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I mean, it was the most we wished we had pictures of this moment because it was so crazy. And we were like, okay, we're gonna pull up and kind of move away and we're gonna give you space. So when that light turns green, you could just go. He's like, thanks. It was great.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you, was he a little bit younger guy?
Yes.
Okay, that was Alex. And the thing about Alex is he lives in California and his dad started a business where he was renting antique cars and motorcycles to movie sets.
Oh,
And
wow.
now Alex runs that and he's very
Oh,
good
how
friends with Jay
fun.
Leno.
You
So
know,
anyway, that was
I,
Alex.
it was a great experience, and I have been, I've been very fortunate. This is how Vicky and I keep running into each other in strange places. I will probably see Vicky, I would like to say the end of July, beginning of August at Hoka Hey,
Oh,
because
how about June at the women's
I
world event?
I have been considering coming up for that. And I've known, once again,
Rockford,
another person
Illinois.
I've known forever. I should get Ellie to come and speak
Yeah.
and talk about the event because this is some really cool stuff. There's a lot of really cool women-oriented events, and y'all know me. I'm kind of right in the middle of it. And she's trying to do the world record. Ellie's trying to put together the world record, and we're really excited about it. So yeah, I will probably be up there. Dennis is going to ride Hoka Hey in August, so we're very excited about that. And yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
really?
lots of really
Okay.
cool things. There are lots of really cool events going on in 2026, and I um, encourage everyone that if you've got an event or you know about something that's going on in your local, motorcycling community, tell us about it. You never know. You never know, and who gets a wild hair and decides to show up?
Well,
It's a lot of
and
fun.
we're trying to be better, and by we I mean me, trying to be better about keeping Facebook up to date. My daughter was home at Christmas and she's writing up a social media plan for us as well. So we're gonna get ourselves pulled back together with the social media. So if you have an event, we're happy to broadcast. And actually, Vicky, I noticed on your website you also have a listing of existing classes that are ongoing as well. So
Yes.
I'll point everybody. I dropped the website in a couple times, both the normal website and the sponsor a class site and the Project Guardian site. So all that information is there. We're going to talk about this as a potential. So Deb is president this year. I'm president next year, and we don't have the following year's president online tonight, but we're all in lockstep. So we're doing some things where we're trying to plan for the next few years. So we're looking for sponsor or events we can sponsor and things we can do that are focused a little bit more on motorcycles than a typical Rotary Club would be. So this is perfect, and it gives us some
Yeah.
opportunities to do.
Amanda, there's going to be a class in Carrollton, a sponsored class in Carrollton coming up in Virginia.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
working on that one right now. So
all right. Well,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm up near DC. Is
Oh, there's actually going to be, I was working on that one today too. There's
well,
going to
let
be
me
one in
know.
DC for BMW riders, but I'm sure you could.
I
uh,
am not tall enough to ride a BMW
They
as much as
they
I'd
might let
like
an Indian Scout person in. So
to. I'll come. I'll ride my husband's Triumph. I'll kind of sort of fit in.
yeah.
Uh, but no, it's
Awesome, awesome. Well, I see you guys are from all over. That's very interesting. And yeah, Tennessee. Wow, cool, cool stuff.
yeah.
New Jersey.
You've got a good smattering of people tonight, and I want to call out. We've got some new to me faces, so I apologize if you've been on previous calls and I haven't met you. But Samsung, I don't have a name for you, but welcome. And then Paul is new face to me. Vicky is a new face to me. Christina as well. Teresa's not a new face to me. She works with me, but she's new to you guys. So I want to say thank you guys very much for joining us as well. Welcome to the fold. We are rowdy, not really rowdy. We're actually pretty chill, but occasionally we get together and get rowdy.
Hey, Jerry, we should get this posted on the fellowship too.
Should. And I
I,
will remind everyone as well that we did record this. It'll be posted up on the YouTube and it'll be available for everybody to watch. I will do my job and get the link to that posted as soon as it's ready to go, and we'll make sure that everybody's got that as well.
Hey, Amanda and Deb, we do have a few minutes. Let's ask our guests to say a quick few minutes if they would. Quick few comments, whatever. So, we, I'll look at my list of who I see here right now. Somebody's on Samsung phone. There she
She
is.
did. She just changed it. She's on it.
Geraldine. Did I say that right? Ozark.
In Lake Ozark, Missouri. Nice.
You're on mute, dear.
She's just waving. That's okay. That's cool. Thank you
That's
for coming,
okay.
Darlene.
Whatever. And Paul?
Are you
Paul
unmuted,
Tooley?
Amanda? Oh, there
Oh,
she is.
there.
There she goes.
Darlene's how do I pronounce that?
You did right, Darlene.
Okay.
I'm a part of the Ladies in Leather. I've seen this on their website today, and they said, "Hey, go join this." So I wanted to watch because I'm one of our regional coordinators for Stilettos on Steel, women's riding group. So I thought this might be something really good that we might want to try to organize a class for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's
Fantastic.
awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We do a lot of
Paul?
stilettos.
Paul Tolley, you're on mute. He's looking down. There he is. Paul, can you go off mute?
Well, he says he's from Ontario, Canada, and he didn't ride today because of the freezing rain. So we understand that.
You must be pretty close to me. I'm over in Detroit, so yeah, it was crazy. Going down, Micah. 2020 Road Glide. Where are you at, sir?
I'm actually deep in the heart of East Texas. I'm not too far. I'm about 200 miles from Houston. So,
and for the rest of you guys that are directors of our club, I sent you all a message, but George gently reminded me we got to act on his application for our club. So that'll probably be happening next week, George. So
okay, thank you.
And who else is Vicki?
We like to keep we're building anticipation, George. That's what we're doing.
Vicki, have I met you before? Vicki, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I don't think you've met Vicki, but you should. You know what? We'll have to make sure that happens somewhere in here, Jerry.
Is she from Texas too there?
Deb? No, she's in Milwaukee. That's why I think at some point I may have mentioned
she's on now. Go ahead, Vicki.
Which Vicki?
There you are.
Two.
Is there another one? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vicki.
I'm in the Houston area. I ride a 2018 Tri-Glide.
Okay. Glad you're with us. JR, I've seen you before.
Yeah, I think it's my second time joining tonight. So appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming this evening.
Christina messaged me a couple times.
Very serendipitous. I got asked if I might consider being safety captain for my riders group literally today. Cool. So how about that?
Very cool. It was made to happen. Christina's messaged me a couple times there. We're glad to see she's going to join back into IFMR. So Christina, you're Georgia, I take it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Georgia. I actually currently serve as a service chair for our North Cobb Rotary Club. So I would be an associate member, I'm assuming, of this particular club. I ride a 212 Road King, and I'm part of the American Legion Riders right here in Marietta at the Horace Orr post. So I've been wanting to jump in on do a little bit more with y'all's club, and this was my first night, and actually I'm thinking about trying to get a meeting or a training session either with the American Legion or just in the area. I think this is it was an amazing session tonight, and something we all need to know. Absolutely. So thank you, Vicki, very much for hosting us tonight on that. Yeah.
If you don't mind, I have taught at the is it American Legion or VFW? The horse, or I've taught there before.
The
And
Legion, yeah.
I have a sponsor right there in Marietta, and he's sponsoring a class that I'm teaching to Stilettos on Steel
Oh,
in Noonan, Georgia this weekend.
yeah.
I'm actually flying out on Friday to go teach in Noonan.
No
Very cool.
way.
Yeah. So anyway, small world, isn't it?
That is a smart world. Who's your contact over at the Legion? Do you know?
The Legion, I don't know who the contact was because I worked with my sponsor.
Okay.
So that was Michael Mobies, and he's a member there at the Legion. So
Okay.
yeah, and he's sponsoring but he'll sponsor any class, just so you know. So the
Oh,
classes will only be $50 a person and
okay.
include lunch. He'll take care of that too.
You know,
Oh,
Christina,
wonderful.
there are a few of us who are Legion members as well. So there might be something that we could do, kind of a dispersed
Okay.
effort to try to get a few of the legions to do it at the same time.
Okay. Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
back pockets.
Sounds great. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Christina, are
Mhm.
you friends with Ted Richardson too?
I'm not familiar with that name.
North Georgia riders down there. A couple of us have ridden down there with him. So
Okay.
I thought I saw before on Facebook we had the common thing, but maybe not.
Could be.
Okay.
Could be.
And Teresa, I think you're the last on my list I'm seeing here.
Hi, very nice to meet
We're-
you guys. Amanda, I work with Amanda. So
okay.
first time here. Very interesting topic and very, very valuable. So thank you.
Very cool, guys. Well, I'm the secretary of the club, so I just wanted to say thank you all for joining us. And if you do have interest in joining us, or if you're joining the fellowship group IFMR, you can contact either myself or Rory. And I put the websites in there for both our club and for I don't know if I put up IFMR one, but the connections on our club website as well for that. And there's a automatic process on there where you can actually do the application online for our club. But very glad to have everybody here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
You, Jerry.
Well, we are at the top of the hour. So, do I have a volunteer for the four-way test? Anyone? Anyone?
I'll go.
Okay, Amanda, please.
Lead
Thank
us in the four-way test of the things we think, say,
or do.
First, is it the truth?
Truth.
Second, is it
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third, will it build
goodwill and better
friendships? Fourth, will it be
beneficial to all
concerned?
All right.
And 5,
will it be fun?
Will it be fun?
Oh, wait, what is it? 6?
6, will we get caught? But whatever.
Well, once again, thank you, Vicki, so much. I'll be chatting with you soon, definitely. And I thank you all for attending. We meet every Tuesday. The last meeting of the month, it's a little freestyle and we hang out and we chat, but we're always looking for visitors. You are always welcome to come and join us once again this time frame on Tuesday nights. And I wish you all a good week, and we will meet again next week. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
Deb.
you.
Thanks, Jerry, for reaching out.
Good night.
Thanks, Deb.
And
Bye-bye.
it'll be about an hour, and this recording of this will be up on our YouTube channel. So
Awesome.
that'll be
Jerry.
that was listed in our email invite. So
And I'll just say, if you happen to know of another cool speaker we should have, we are all ears. Darylene talking about you. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.